In the still, unspoken corners of my soul, I never imagined that the end of my marriage would begin with a single sentence, spoken not in fury nor in tears, but with a chilling, casual calm. Please, just one night with him. Her name was Elise. For nearly 10 years, we had stitched our lives together with the quiet threads of routine, shared laughter, and the intimacy of the mundane. We weren't flashy or dramatic. Our love didn't burn like a wildfire. It glowed like embers, warm and consistent. Mornings began with mismatched coffee mugs and sleepy smiles across a scuffed wooden table. Our fingers would brush as we passed the sugar bowl, a touch so subtle yet grounding. Friday nights were sacred, a silent agreement. We curled under a threadbare quilt, our bodies tangled while our favorite show hummed in the background, its plot secondary to the comfort of being side by side. Saturdays brought strolls through the local market, where she'd raise an eyebrow at my impulse to buy overpriced artisanal bread while I mocked her practicality. Our life wasn't extravagant, but it was ours. Familiar, reliable. Elise had always been driven, a storm of ambition wrapped in grace. Her career at a prestigious marketing firm wasn't just work, it was her stage. And I adored that about her. But over time I began to notice a shift. Subtle, like a new scent on her coat or the way she'd reapply lipstick before heading out. Her wardrobe sharpened, no longer functional but curated. She worked later, offered vague explanations that I accepted without pressing. I trusted her. Then his name began to surface. Victor Langston. Her boss. Charismatic, successful, newly single. The kind of man who didn't need to speak loudly to be heard. His presence did the talking. First it seemed harmless. A name dropped here and there. A story about a meeting, a clever quip he made. I even teased her once. Sounds like a man crush. But the stories grew. The laughter she saved for home now bloomed when speaking of him. She quoted him as if his opinions were gospel. And worst of all, she began to draw comparisons. Not overt, but razor-sharp in implication. Victor would have handled that differently. Victor always finds a way. Each mention chipped away at something sacred, though I didn't realize just how deep the cracks had become until the night it all shattered. We sat at our kitchen table, simple oak, slightly wobbly, a silent witness to years of shared meals and memories. The scent of our risotto dinner still lingered, though neither of us touched it anymore. Elise placed her wine glass down, her expression unervingly serene. "I know this sounds wild, Thomas," she said, her voice level, almost businesslike. "But Victor invited me to spend the weekend in Napa. Just us. He feels something between us. And I need to see what it is. Just one night. No expectations. I'll come back. I promise." The world tilted. Not in a loud, explosive way, but in that quiet, soul-wrenching way where everything you believed begins to dissolve before your eyes. The wine in her glass quivered slightly, disturbed by the tremor in my chest. She wasn't confessing a moment of weakness. She was presenting a plan. Proposal. She wanted my silence, my tolerance, perhaps even my approval. "You want to sleep with him?" asked, my voice steady, too calm. She nodded. "No shame, just weariness. Just one night. Doesn't change us. I just need to figure this out." I didn't argue. There was no point. I stood slowly, the chair legs groaning against the hardwood floor. I walked to our bedroom and pulled out the old duffel bag we'd used on our honeymoon to Capri. I could still smell the sea on it, faint and bittersweet. I began packing. Wetters. My favorite books. A framed photo I wasn't ready to leave behind. She followed me, her confusion building into panic. "What are you doing?" "Granting your wish," I said. "If one night with Victor is what you need, then have it. Have every night. I'm done." She laughed nervously, as if this were a dramatic joke I'd unravel in the morning. But I wasn't playing. That night, I sat in the blue glow of my laptop, composing a long, somber email to my attorney. By sunrise, the divorce papers were drafted. I signed them with a clarity I didn't know I possessed. I handed them to her as she sat in the silence she created. You were ready to risk everything for a single night. Now you're free. No need to lie or sneak. Go live that life. And for the first time her composure broke. She wept. She begged. Her voice cracked, raw and desperate. It was a mistake. I didn't mean to hurt you. I just needed to know. But that's the thing about betrayal. It doesn't always need to happen in action. Sometimes the deepest wound is carved in the asking. The ease with which she suggested it, as if our decade together was negotiable, an inconvenience she could pause, was the true betrayal. In the weeks that followed, our shared life unraveled. Elise moved in with her cousin on the far side of the city. Through mutual acquaintances, I learned the Napa trip happened, but the spark fizzled. To Victor, it had been exactly what he said it would be. One night, she had gambled our life together on a fantasy and came back empty-handed. A year later, her voice returned in a voicemail. You were right, Thomas. I was foolish. I ruined everything. I'm sorry. I listened once, then deleted it. Now 3 years have passed. I live in Seattle now, running a small branding studio from a home with creaky floors and a window that overlooks a quiet street. The loneliness that once gnawed at me has softened into something else. Resilience. I've learned to savor silence. The tap of rain. The pride in my work. The way the morning light touches my kitchen tiles. I've learned that love isn't about grand declarations or fleeting passions. It's about loyalty in the quiet moments. Choosing one another, even when novelty beckons. Elise thought she was asking for something harmless. Just one night. But what she really did was reveal something I'd been too blind to see. Her heart had already left. And when she asked me for that night, she gave me something too. The truth. The permission to walk away. Not in rage, but with clarity. I didn't lose a wife that night. I lost an illusion. And in return, I gained the courage to demand something greater. A love that doesn't need to be tested to be trusted. A future that isn't built on compromise of self. Some choices, once spoken aloud, can never be taken back. And for me, that was the greatest truth of all.